Welcome back, guys. We are picking up exactly where we left off in last video. If you guys haven't watched it, or the last two before that, we are working on my buddy Craig's Mr2 spyder full turbo kit that I made in the last two videos. And it's a brand new forged internal motor. Anyway, we just did the fuel system. If you didn't watch last week's video, you gotta go watch it. I'm not doing a full recap. But the last thing that we left off with was me installing the oil cooler, but we didn't have any dash 10 line. So the dash 10 line is now in, and we're just going to pick up exactly where I left off. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the first one ran. It's going to go right here. I've got the tray out, and it's following these lines all the way underneath, and then it's coming over here. The next one will follow the same path. It may come up over here because this tray is circle like that. So kind of this whole area right here is taken, but right here is where it ends. So I'll probably bring the other hose around here as well. Also, there's really only room above the gas tank for one dash 10. So the second dash 10, I'm going to follow these lines and go around the gas tank. Which, believe it or not, that hose is the shortest length I possibly could do, and it's 10 foot 3 inches. I only bought a 20-foot hose, so I can't do the other one. So we've got 9 foot, and we've got 8 foot over there. So I'm just going to get 2 push lock fittings and connect the 2 hoses. It will be fine. There won't ever be a leak. They'll be secured. But yeah, that's kind of, you wouldn't think that you would need 30 foot of oil cooler line to run it up front, but for you guys who have Mr2 spyders, now you know. So we're gonna hold off on that for now, and now is the fun stuff where I get back to the wiring. Again, just to recap, we put a newer knock sensor, a 2-wire instead of 1 wire, so we need to wire that. We need to wire the boost solenoid, and we have a canvas, a Haltech canvas gauge, and a pillar pod, and we have an AEM. It's unplugged, but that's the wiring right there. So we've got a lot of wiring to do. That's nothing special, so what I'm going to do is wire it all, then I'll show you the finished product. After what seems like days, we have the knock sensor and the boost solenoid. Solenoid over here is wired as well, and I just used 2 spade terminals, 1 female, 1 male. Polarity doesn't matter on these. So then knock sensor, I had a pigtail on another harness, so we did that. And then corresponding, the boost was already ran. I don't see the second gray one, so that one right there was boost, so all I had to do was pull it through the car. This is our shielded knock sensor, which I still need to pin, which will be ground and signal and sensor ground. In fact, these will tee together and both go to sensor ground. So then, if you remember, the AEM gauge was there. I had to extend that wire, and I had to extend the wire for the canvas gauge. So I've been working. This pillar didn't fit great. I've had to trim quite a lot of it, and you can still see how it's not shaped to the pillar. Also, I was trying to remove this one, and it really wasn't coming out. So instead of removing it, you need to slot it so that your wires can come through it and go into here. Otherwise, this will pinch your wires. So I went ahead and just slotted it in inside the car instead of having to take this off. So we just need to drill these holes and put some screws in it, and the pillar pod will be mounted. I'm going to take a heat gun to where it doesn't fit, and I'm going to try to massage it. It may be tricky, but I'm almost done with wiring, so we'll call that done for the sake of the video. I ran the oil line. I guess I don't know if I put the clip in, but this is the shortest hose, and it came out to 10 foot 3 inches. So my 20-foot hose was too short. So I was going to connect it. In fact, I think that was the clip, and I have it right here. And I've pulled on it as hard as I possibly can. It wouldn't go anywhere. It's a barbed fitting, a 3/4 barbed fitting on both sides. So if it was my car, I would put it on. But since this is a friend's car and I don't want him to be worried about it, I just went ahead, paid the extra $40, and I have another hose coming. So that will be here next week when all the snow's here, so that will be fun. But what else? Well, the door bars and the steering wheel will be tomorrow. So that's what we'll do tomorrow. Back today working, and we got the gauges actually put in there. I've got 2 screws. I've got this screw and that screw holding it. I still need to figure out how to heat this up and get it to form correctly, but I've started on the steering wheel. I had to do the airbag sensor so that the car thinks the airbag's still there. Then I had to do the horn as well. So this came a little different, but we're ready to do the next part and install this. And then this goes on, and then we can connect this to the horn and the new steering wheel. As you can see, the steering wheel is now on. I was able to custom put this horn button here because this is a airbag delete, so like if you get in a wreck, you're going to hit this instead of a metal steering wheel. Traditionally this horn sits there, and if you can see, it's flush, so there was really no way to mount it in there. So I had to cut a coupler, and anyway, I got it custom fit. Then we went straight to the door bar. So as you can see, I had to cut the carpet a little bit, but I hit it. Same with down there. Then up here, I was able to reuse the interior piece, and instead of like cutting it here or something to where this could go in, like fold over it, I basically drilled a hole and I fished it through this way. And once it's in there, then you can bolt this top piece in right here. And then you can slide this down the rest of the way. So I cut a little too much here. I don't think I had to cut that much down to slide it, but I want it to be uniform, so I'll cut it the same way on the other side. You really can't see it. See, you can see from this angle, but this is where the cubby is. You'll never see it like that. So after the door bars, we still have to redo this valve cover gasket. As you can see, it's leaking right there. And if you don't know, these ports are tiny. This one, and we've already removed this one. So I have another valve cover, this one, that I went and drilled this hole out to be a 1/2 inch hole instead of an 1/8 inch hole, which it was. Then we're going to put a 1/2 inch outlet here as well. So we'll have 2 1/2 inch outlets there. As you can see, I'm painting it right now, just with some Duplicolor engine black, flat black paint. So I just painted it. It hasn't flashed yet. So we've got the valve cover being worked on because it's like 50, and I've got it next to the heater, so it should be fine. And then we have the catch can, which is just a generic catch can, the one that would bolt on like this, and you have the 2 inlets here and 1 outlet here. But that allows oil to just come right in and go out of the filter, and that 1/2 inch hose isn't enough to breathe if we have 2 1/2 inch hoses. You're not doing anything by having it vent just 1 1/2 inch hole. So we're going to use all 3 of these for vents, and there's already 1 hole here, but I'm going to drill several holes here so that air can go through it, but it should catch all the oil. So originally the inlets came right here, so we're deleting that, and so I'm drilling into the side of it, and we will weld 2-10 bungs and then use 45-degree hoses. We'll have the catch can sit roughly around here. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm mounting it yet, but we'll have 1 hose come out here, go around and go into the catch can, and then the other one come out and go into the catch can. So that's what I'm doing right now, is fabbing all of it. As you can see, I've just finished welding this earlier. Not too shabby. We got to grind this flat so that it will seal again, and then we'll drill the holes. These aren't the fittings I'm going to use, but got these 2 fittings welded on, and I spray painted it real fast. Just the same color we're using on the valve cover. It's not exact, but until he gets it powder coated, it will work. Then this is the top. And as you can see, I got all these holes drilled. So the idea is, you know, even preferably have still wool in here. And then they come in this way and then exit out here. But as you can see, with it being baffled, it gives the oil something to grab onto, instead of going out to the filter. So it's just a little better design, in my opinion, than just those basic ones. But that's taking a basic one, spending $20 on fittings, and making it actually worthwhile. So if I really wanted to be cool, I should have put steel wool up in the top chamber, in this chamber. But I'm not that cool. So anyway, I've been working all day. Just to recap, do a little pan. We got that whole interior in, which looks really good, I think. You know, I've never seen one of these before, but since I got that button to work up here, it actually looks pretty good. Reminds me of like a go-kart, which is suiting for this chassis. So tomorrow we'll come back, put on the valve cover, and finalize everything under the hood or bonnet, whatever you want to call this. Okay guys, big update time. Got the catch can here. These are just going to be 2 more vent holes. We'll just leave them open right now, I think. You couldn't put a filter right here on both of these because the filter would be so close. So we'll leave that. If it starts spitting oil, I may put some hose on it. I don't know. But catch can's done. All the fuel lines are tightened. We got the vacuum line and the boost solenoid wired up and zip tied. Got the new valve cover on. Still a little cold here, so it really didn't adhere too well. It really needs to be powder coated, but it looks good from here. So it's definitely starting to look more like a race engine with that catch can there. So we need to finish the oil cooler, then put everything back together and start tuning. So it's all buttoned up top. As I showed in kind of the B-roll, there's the catch can. We got 2 other vent lines just going down because you can't fit 3 filters right there. I got all the fuel lines tight. Real fast. We'll come down here. Okay, under the car we got the sandwich plate. We got the new Mobile One filter. We got the lines ran. That's one of the lines that goes around the gas tank. Then remember the other one's going up over the gas tank. Got the trays put back in. The Haltech and this whole sound system put back in. The subwoofers over there, you can see the black box. Got the canvas plugged in for the gauge up here. We got the steering wheel. We got both door bars in with the interior still. So pretty clean. I could have made a little smaller hole, but I wanted to match the other side, so they're a little bigger than what they should be. Like, it's really hard to see across there, but you can see I trimmed down here, where honestly I could have probably cut a hole right here and came up instead of having this part here, but I did it over there first and I just wanted to match it. And Craig's going to put some door trim around it or something to make the edges cleaner. And then this is the oil lines. As I showed you before, this one goes up here. We have it all secured now with a cover as well. And then this is the second one, and it goes up around. And we got both of them tight right there. You can see they're both still above the support. So I've got to drain the oil in it because we're going to start fresh. And I personally run Mobile One race oil. So that's where we're going to put in this. So I got to put the oil in it. We got to turn the key and prime the fuel system. Use this gauge right here and get it to 43 psi and lock it here. And once we do that, we'll start revving, free revving and stuff like that. But one broke off and 2 broke off. All right. It's been a week since I filmed. I had a pretty bad cold front come in, and then so I didn't want to work. It was like 20 degrees. Then after I started it, I realized 3 of the bolts were snapped off in the turbine housing. So we had 2 options. Reuse this one, which is an 86 AR. It says it somewhere in there. Or I had a real Garrett housing, turbine housing, that was a 64 AR. So I swapped the 64 AR on. I got stainless steel nylon washers, or bolts, put bigger washers on, because I think that was the problem. The washers were too small. They wallered out the downpipe and broke the bolts. Anyway, we've got it all put back together as you've seen in B-roll. And we are getting ready to start it and tune it. I have this tore apart because I thought we had a fuel leak, but we don't. So I need to put that back, but just in case something happens, I'm going to leave it open for the tuning. But I've got the power inverter set up, and that way I can plug my laptop in and have power to my laptop while I drive around and street tune it. It's a cheat. A little life hack so you can street tune. But yeah, we're going to start this up and let you guys hear it. Sounds way better with the smaller housing, by the way. So Craig's here. He's going to drive. I've cleaned up the tune because we were maxing out the fuel system. We needed the return system. So I pulled out a lot of fuel. Because we're running a smaller housing, I had to mess with timing a little bit and variable valve timing. Because there's not a... It wanted less to go faster, if that makes sense. So this is Craig's first drive with the new housing and the fuel system. The boost is at boost creeping a little bit. It's going up to like 9.3 is the highest I've seen. But 8 is what it was. So he's gonna do a little pull. It feels way better down low, like 2,500, 3 grand. You can feel the turbo starting to spool. God damn. Yeah, that thing scoots. That is way quicker than what it was. Holy cow. That looked good. I'm gonna get my GoPro and probably try to do some more tomorrow. But yeah, that was dope. He's probably turning around to come back. God damn. Look at that smile, you can see it.
Oh my gosh, he feels so good.
Okay, we're now at 10.5 PSI. Oh, you can hear that bitch scream up top. I'm glad I'm getting just a couple of clips because you can see yesterday's tuning to this day's tuning. I heard the note difference. He's going out on the main road. Okay guys, just as last time, we are dropping the car back off at Craig's. A lot of things done. I set that GoPro up. I think I got some street pulls on there. Just by myself though. But yeah, we're gonna let Craig drive it before I leave, and we'll film that as the end. Okay guys, so not only did I just look at the GoPro footage and none of it really caught anything, for whatever reason my phone didn't film the street pulls that Craig did with me as passenger. So unfortunately this is the ender, and it's been quite a while since the last upload, and I apologize, but you know, winter and trying to get parts going and then trying to edit the footage. I already have next video's footage. I just have to edit it. So make sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully in 2 weeks there'll be another video out.